Here we are.
We coming in?
We are. It's showing us live there now.
Excellent. Hello, everyone. Good morning. It is Reverend Carolyn McGee here with Reverend Don Simpson for Sunday Morning Grace. It is our honor and privilege to show up with you and hold space for whatever we need in the moment. You know, sometimes it's going to be action and sometimes it's going to be just being at peace. And we're going to get into that a little bit more in a moment. But as always, invite you to circle up our energy. So if you could close your eyes, if it's safe for you, put your feet on the ground, connect in with Mother Earth. Straighten up your spine as much as you can so that you are a column of energy between the Divine Mother and the Divine Father, Father Sky and Mother Earth. And using your divine heart as the focal point, feel that energy moving through you. Now it's not split energy, it's flow energy. It moves from your body, from your heart, up into that star, your own personal star, 36 inches above your head, and taps into the inspiration that is always available to all of us. And then it flows all the way down through your body, past your heart, and down into the center of the earth, plugging into Mother Earth, that heartbeat, that creative, pulsing, action-taking, grounding energy, nurturing all of us, supporting all of us, giving us the strength and energy to take that inspired thought and bring it out into the world. And now see it flow back through you, past your sacred heart and back up into Father Sky, where the next right action is formulated and passed on. And then again, back through your heart and down into the earth. Now just see it as this divine flow. Sometimes there's information going in both directions. Perfectly in alignment, exactly knowing what to do and how to do it, but always going through your divine heart. Now just hold that image and know that it's available to you at any time. Beautiful. And now, if you haven't already done it, intuitively put your hands over your heart. And know that your heart is the gateway. Your heart can be open and allow this beautiful, divine, inspiring flow of energy to move easily and effortlessly. It can also close and stop the flow, create an artificial separation between inspiration and groundedness. It is our choice in each moment, no matter what pain we may be carrying in our heart, no matter what separation we feel, no matter what us versus them, the world against me, me against the world. That's not truth. Divine truth is openness, flow, surrender, grace, and ease. And while the pain that we feel in our heart is valid, it is not our soul's purpose. It is to help us move forward. We can channel it for good, for our good and the good of the entire world, because we are one world. Imagine us all over the world, beacons of light, open hearts, divine flow. tapping into the same sources and bringing forth that inspired light. And with that thought, start to bring your awareness back to this time and this space. And Reverend Dawn, we have got some great stuff to talk about today. Gratitude, surrender.
Mhm. We do.
Yeah, why don't you kick us off?
I want to start off by thanking you for that wonderful, beautiful little exploration and little meditation that you took us on. It's always absolutely perfect. And I know it just flows right through you. You don't plan on it. And that's what makes it even more beautiful, is that you're tapping into the present moment for each and every one of us. And I'm sure I speak for a lot of people here. Thank you.
You are welcome.
So we will continue this month talking about courage and strength and how we are working with it in our own minds and bodies and worlds and homes. And it's not too late to start. Start where you are. And, you know, the world around us, whether it's in your home and dealing with the challenges that are on the outside of our home, that are also on the inside of our home, we feel like, many of us feel like we're just kind of doubled up on challenges in the world, our own personal everyday challenges, plus the pandemic and how that's always changing outside there too. So it's about bringing focus to what we can control. We cannot control our outside circumstances. We can only control what we do with it and how we handle it. And how we build our strength, our core strength, and build our courage to still continue to live and work and grow to the best of our abilities in this world and on our paths and on our journeys, wherever we are. So, you know, life can kind of, sometimes it makes us feel like, some of these circumstances can make it feel like we've been set off course. And it's not necessarily true, but it can certainly feel that way. It can feel like we've just been blown off course, and just, where the heck are we and where are we going and what do I do in this time, in this moment? So it's important to, and I think we're going to be getting some more time to do some more inner work. I think we're going to kind of be separated a little bit more again, just because of things are on the rise. So it's about taking that opportunity to spend more time going within. And the winter also offers us the same opportunity as going within. It's kind of a time to be more in the winter anyway. So we're doubled up with that going in too. So I think it's, you know, the universe really speaking to us about going in and doing more inner work. Right, Carolyn?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and really trusting that, that it's all good. You know, that's one of the tenets, and I might be paraphrasing it, but, you know, that's one of my own personal daily mantras. It's all good, and trusting that even when it doesn't feel good, it is good. And, you know, I'll give a personal example. My beloved heart cat, he's in process of transitioning. And, you know, it's literally breaking my human heart. It's so challenging for me because I love this cat and he has been one of my greatest teachers and also one of my greatest loves. But I know that it's his time, and I truly trust that there's a reason for the timing. I truly trust that it's his choice. He has very clearly told me he wants to transition at home with me. He doesn't want me taking him to the vet. He wants that choice. And he wants me to surrender and have the courage to trust him. And as hard as that is, that's divine trust. That's really stepping into this energy of courage and this energy of surrender to allow it to happen, trusting that it really truly is all good, even when it doesn't feel good. And, during the meditation, I talked about opening your heart. When my dog Buddy passed, I closed my heart. I wasn't healed enough to be able to allow the energy to continue to really move through me. I mean, it eked through me. It didn't completely stop, but it didn't flow through me. And it took a lot of conscious work on my part, and, working with, my spiritual support team here to allow my heart to really wide open again, so that I could continue to be of service. I could support my family. I could do what I came here to do, which you can't do when your heart is closed. And it doesn't matter whether you're a minister or you're a mom, it, or you're a firefighter. We all have beautiful gifts that we need to bring out into the world, and we can't do that if we don't have the courage to keep our hearts open. And
Right. And Carolyn, you shared that so beautifully, and it's such a challenge, and that's, your personal challenge right now. And it's not easy to be able to open, and you're building your courage and your strength, and so is Petey, and
yeah,
you're coming together, and it's allowing you the opportunity, and that's our message here today. It's allowing you, your beloved cat is allowing you the opportunity to stay committed to yourself and building your courage and your strength, because it's hard to do what you're doing, and it's hard for him. He's he's struggling too, because you're his beloved, he's your beloved, and so it's hard to lose that, in this physical world.
yeah,
But again, it is offering you both the opportunity to build on that. And it's kind of like, it goes back to that muscle, and you're building that muscle.
yeah.
And the more you build it, the more you commit to working it, the stronger it's going to get.
Mm-hmm.
And there's always going to be, from the minute you're born to the minute that you leave here, there's challenges, and that's a guarantee. There'll always be something that's going on outside of us, and again, those things we cannot control. But what we can control is how we are allowing it to affect us, and how we can learn from these challenges and grow with them.
Yeah, and realizing that we have to take care of ourselves. Most of us who are in, this divine order of the Sacred Rose, and in this spiritual community, we're caregivers. We're nurturers. It's part of our innate energy. But if we have to nurture ourselves first, and I actually had a conversation with Petey about this last night. It was, I don't know, during the middle of the night. I didn't check the time, but he woke up. He's still using the litter box and drinking, so he had to go in there. And when he hopped back in, he's like wide awake and kind of a little thing. I'm like, honey, I need to go back to sleep. I love you. I'm going to trust that you're going to be here in the morning when I wake up, because I'm trusting that he's going to tell me when it's really the time. And there was kind of a little thing, and then he settled himself down, and I was able to go back to sleep. And it's the reason I say this is that sometimes we don't take care of ourselves, and I think that takes courage. It takes courage as a caregiver and a nurturer. And also, we're by design, when we're these high spiritual leaders, we can sometimes forget that we need to lead by example of caring for ourselves and monitoring our energy, and doing self-care and eating right, and drinking enough water. That was another thing he did last night. He went in and he got a drink, and he kind of looked at me like, aren't you going to drink too? And so I'm like, okay, I'll go get my water. I'll take a drink. And then he drank a little bit more, and he looked at me again. I'm like, I guess I'm dehydrated. But it's following the energy. It's taking the signals and realizing that if we aren't caring for ourselves, we're not available to care for the people that we love.
Yeah. And this is kind of a nice segue into the next thing that I kind of wanted to touch on, and that's about using the energies around us that are there to support us.
Yes.
And I'll just dabble and just share what little that I do know, but it's enough to help. It's enough to make a difference. So I was on this call yesterday, and this woman was talking about, she was the guest in this call that I was on, and she was talking about the lunar energies and how they support us. And she was on yesterday because it was a new moon last night, and she said the time, I don't know if it was 9 or 11 o'clock last night, that it was the darkest time of that moon cycle. It was we're in the new moon. And she said that the energies that we're now in, because of this lunar cycle that we're in right now, is about setting your intention. So she said, think about the intention that you're setting tonight when you go to bed, or at the time that this was happening. Because she said, that's the intention that you're setting. She said, you just set the intention and you let it go. You just let the universe take it and support you in whatever you're intending. She also said that what you're experiencing now is something that you intended probably 6 months ago, whether you know what that was or not. And that's the thing is knowing how the energies can support us. The energies can support us in being quiet and silent and in being in solitude. The energies can support us in getting out there. The energies can support us in setting our intentions and setting our goals and taking that energy out into the universe much more successfully when you're working in the energies that are supporting what it is you're trying to achieve, right? So my message here also is about learning a little bit about the lunar energies and the lunar cycles and what they each offer, because you get about 3 days with each cycle. And each cycle, it's a 28-day cycle, and you get about 3 days for each cycle. And each of those little 3-day cycles offers different energies to support you in your life. And if you follow them, like some people will not sign a contract if the energy doesn't support signing contract. They just won't. Some people really live their lives by the energies of the moon. So I encourage you to look into it. And this is like the extent of my knowledge of this, but it's enough. It's enough to know that there's energies out there that will support you, and working with your courage and your strengths.
Yeah, absolutely. It's an invitation to dive into it, for each individual who's watching, to dive into it as deeply as you want to, or, to stay on the surface. Perhaps it's just an invitation to be aware that there are different cycles and that they can affect your energy. I remember when I first started becoming aware of the moon cycles, I would have periodic insomnia, and I could not figure out why. I mean, it didn't matter what I did. And I finally realized it's the night of the full moon. And I'm like, well, okay, that does make sense. And so I could just realize, accept, plan around the fact that until I learned how to modulate my own energy better so that it wasn't the high lows, because I was in that roller coaster time, that I was going to be affected by the full moon, and that I needed to take into account I was going to be tired the next day. And that awareness alone helped dampen it so that I wasn't as impacted. The moon was sending me a message.
Mm-hmm. And then you get, and I'm sure a lot of you in this group listening to this understands and has heard the language of retrograde. So, sometimes it makes us feel like we're going a little cuckoo, and, communication, there's big gaps and things are, not working, computers and phones, there's glitching, and you're thinking you're going crazy. But again, it's the energies around us, and what words did you use this morning, Carolyn? You were in the flow, right?
Yes.
So in the flow. One thing I will share too, and I didn't know this, I had an astrology report a few years back, and the astrologer had told me that I was born under a full moon and Mercury retrograde. So he told me that because I was born in those energies, I would not be affected by them. So I'm not affected by the energies of those. But he said, what you will have to be affected by is all the people around you who are being affected by it. You know, you'll have to deal with the energies of other people, but you personally will not have to experience the energies of that in your own body. So that was interesting to me, because, you know, people would say, oh, did you experience this? Did you experience that? And I'm saying, you know, really? So it really gave me a good understanding of how certain energies support me. And I encourage you to also, you know, maybe explore a little bit of that too. You know?
Yeah. And having the courage to make a change when it's in your highest good. You know, Dawn and I were talking about this earlier. And I think I might have mentioned it on another Sunday Morning Grace, but I had just renewed my contract in July to stay in my apartment for another year, committed to 12 months. The next morning, my angels have a sense of humor. I woke up and heard, you are moving to North Carolina and you're going to be there by Thanksgiving. I'm like, what? I just signed a contract. Have faith, have courage, take action. And so I spent a little bit of about 24 hours in a little bit of shock. Now, you know, I've been drawn to North Carolina for my entire life. So the fact that they were saying North Carolina was not like a big shock to me, but it was the timing. You know, we're in the middle of a pandemic. I have a legal contract that I have committed to, but I had faith. I have courage. I took action, and it's not quite Thanksgiving, but it will be the middle of December that I am packing up and I'm moving to North Carolina, to where my heart is calling me to go. And it's the courage to do that. And it's taking the supportive energies, you know, as part of this. You guys all know that I've got an engineering background and I'm highly logical. I hired somebody to do an astrological map reading. It's called, I think, astrocartology. And lo and behold, the part of North Carolina that I'm moving to, that I was called to, is a highly supportive area for me. So me taking the courage is allowing me to step into a more nurturing place for me to live. And, you know, but logically, no, it really doesn't make sense. So my invitation to all of you is, if you have a secret dream, or if you've got a calling, or if you've got a vision, you know, explore it. Maybe it's your soul calling you to some place where you're going to be nurtured more than you already are, or where you're going to meet the right person, or you're going to have opportunities that you wouldn't have if you stayed where you are. And yeah, it's not easy to do that, but I'm sure that there's going to be a beautiful gift in this for me, and I'll keep you all posted.
And we can't wait to hear it and to watch you, be supported in the energies that you've been drawn to your whole life. So speaking to what you're saying, it's your soul, your soul, and it was your angels that, talked to you a day late to tell you that, but it's beautiful, and it's your soul's calling, and it's all about the timing. And the timing, yes, is off, right, in the sense of signing contracts, but it really isn't. In your soul's timing, it's perfect. Yeah. So there just so happens to be a contract involved. Oh well, that'll get worked out.
Well, I actually think that I will have the contract signed. I just won't be physically there. And then, then there's that way you're listening. Like, I was in such shock. Did they mean that I will own place in Nashville? Will I be physically there? I can't remember exactly what the voice, my angel said in that moment, but it's giving a time frame that I could work with and understand, and then having that trust and surrender and faith to step into it, because and trusting too, with the flexibility and everything, the fact that I have a contract, which I can get out of the contract there's a little bit of money involved, but it's not the end of the world. I can do that, but I don't have the time pressure. So, it's trusting that they really have got it all figured out. And if I have to spend a little bit of money here, I believe that it will come back to me tenfold when I follow that divine guidance. And really, this has given me a chance to really, really step into the ministry and the faith and following my divine guidance with utter complete trust. Because my logical brain is having a big fat hissy fit.
Yes, yes. But it's the trust, and that's a perfect example, Carolyn. And I hope a lot of you that are watching this can relate, to the power that, this has. And, and Carolyn, you being a analytical, gotta have everything. And you're put that aside to trust what you know that you need to do, and your heart is leading you there. This trust, this pull is beyond logic, so you have to put the logic aside and just follow your intuition, because you know that you know that you know.
Yeah.
And that's what we're really stressing here. When you know that you know something, even though it doesn't make any logical common sense, it doesn't add up on paper, but you know that you need to do it, then you need to follow that and at least explore it, like you said.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's been such a beautiful unfolding. And I in the beginning of during the summers when my cat first got sick, and he recovered. And I was thinking, oh, because at that point in time, I got the information that I didn't want to hear, is that he was not going to North Carolina with me. But then he rebounded. So he rebounded to the point where he could be with me through my transition time. So me having this faith and trust that, again, in divine timing, in, divine right order, that it's true, it's the right thing for him. And letting go and trusting that I will be okay to move without him. There's all of these beautiful energies and things coming into play, and just being able to have the gratitude for, for everything, for being taken care of, for being supported, for the friendships, and for the universe truly having my back. I'm going to circle back to that one, because, it's how I live my life, even when, like I said, things on the surface do not look all that fabulous, but I truly, truly step into that energy of gratitude. And, what do I need to do? What do I need to surrender into?
And everything is falling into place as it needs to. And, it's a beautiful, I guess it's a beautiful transition. Your cat transitioning, you transitioning from a place that's kind of been holding you back, the energies here. You're transitioning into a more supportive energy of your energy and your soul's calling. And it's, these transitionings are happening at the same time, and in a beautiful way. So
yeah, and being able to, to keep in that gratitude, to keep into that thing, and knowing that, we are moving into the winter time, and, I have planned out that I'm going to be able to take all of December and January to rest, to settle, to acclimate, and surrendering to the release of the doing, and really stepping into that energy. And again, that's me planning. I'm not going to pretend that I haven't planned how I'm going to do that, but it's the accepting that that's the guidance that I've been given, that I am going to be fully supported, and that it is all good, and it's all happening for my highest good. So, when we resist, we just make it harder on ourselves.
what do they say? What you resist persists.
Yeah.
It's just going to keep, hello, nagging at you.
right, or tripping you up or putting little speed bumps along the way.
Mm-hmm.
No, and I mean, I had one of those too. I'm a human. I had a glitch with signing the contract on the house, and that's probably why it's not Thanksgiving. It's going to be a few weeks later. I was resistant to some stuff, and I was getting into my head and over analyzing instead of going with, this is the right place, just move. So, we're all human, and it's acknowledging when we hit those speed bumps, and then, okay, is that a speed bump that's outside of my control, or did I contribute to that speed bump? And if I did, can I go more in flow the next opportunity? Because this is my favorite. I've showed you guys this before. This piece of selenite sits on my desk. So I'm always reminded that we're always evolving. We're always moving up this path here. And we're going to get more and more opportunities to have the same choice, the same question, the same lesson. And we're coming at it from a higher perspective. And we get to choose how we interact with it. Do you have one of those too?
Yeah, I'm looking for mine. I have a big ball, and I swear I had it right here on my desk, but it's a really nice round selenite ball. I have it. Yep, I can see it now. It's on my altar. It is. It's a nice selenite ball, and I have selenite here as well, and it's wonderful, and for clearing, cleansing, and balancing, and using it for your stones to clear and cleanse those. But yeah, it's
and just
selenite's a good thing
to remind us that that it is all good, and that that we can always look at things from a different perspective, and make a different choice, or a more informed choice. I want to go back to the heart for a second. When we close our heart down, we're closing down that information flow, that divine information, and that grounded presence, so that we can take the action. And then we can't, it's like that resistance thing. We're not seeing the speed bump that we help build in front of us. We're just, oh, there's a speed bump. I can't believe this. The world is against me.
I think that's a huge message that you just shared, and I hope that people that are listening to that really got that about close your heart. You're kind of blocking the flow and blocking the information, the intuitive information that you need, because you're not allowing it to. So a good thing to do would be to go back and listen to this recording and to the meditation that you started with, Carolyn, to allow this energy to go from Mother Earth and Father Sky, and to go through our hearts, and to kind of do a cleansing and opening of that area.
Yeah. And live in gratitude. We're in the month in the United States, we're in the month of Thanksgiving. It's a traditional month of gratitude. And I think sometimes we forget to have gratitude for the challenges, because they're challenges, right? But they're also opportunities for us to let go of the resistance. That's the way I've started to look at it. Is every time I'm challenged, every time there's those speed bumps, I look at it as an opportunity to let go of the resistance, so that my life can be easier and more in flow. And sometimes it's not easy.
No, and I too need to hear that, because I've had some pretty kind of intense challenges this week myself, and they did hit me hard, and so this message is a really good reminder for me to get it back into the flow, keep the heart open, and gratitude.
Yeah. So I want to invite all of you who are either watching now or will watch this later, type in the comments, what challenges have you seen that you were able to go through easier because you surrendered? Or perhaps you can go back on another challenge and see how you can still surrender into it. Maybe you're holding on to some of the energy from that, and you can open your heart more and let it go. Because it's so beautiful to be able to step into that gratitude. You know, I'm a big silver lining girl. Love the, you know, the fact that there is truly always a gift. So share your gifts with us. Let us know what they are.
Yes, we would love to see and watch what you have to share. We really invite you to do that with us. With us.
Yeah, with us. Please
Yeah,
do.
we're sharing, and we'd love to, hear your sharings as well.
Yeah, great. Good.
Wow, we're really on a roll today, Carolyn.
Need to get my tenants down off my wall.
Yes, yes. Okay, so let's just take a moment and close your eyes and just take in anything that is speaking to you in this moment while you're still here, while you're still in this energy of this conversation. And allow the message that needs to come into your heart and into your mind and into your spirit right now. Take a deep breath and allow that energy and that message. I open my heart with deep gratitude and intend today to master my spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical energies. I am dedicated to my spiritual practice. I surrender to my soul's purpose through sacred prayer. I own my guidance.
I live in partnership with my angels. I serve with a loving heart. I am compassionate in every moment.
I trust it's all good. I allow immediate forgiveness. I honor my truth.
I listen to the spiritual messages within my physical body. I express myself creatively. I am one with Mother Earth. And so
And
it is.
so it is.
Yeah.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Carolyn. Thank you, everybody who's listening to this live and after this recording. Please join us in your sharings. We look forward to seeing you again next month.
Thank you.
Bye for now.